We always know in business, how important customer service is and every customer matters. But, if we're honestly looking at it, especially in the land center business, there are certain customers that are more important than others. And I'm going to kind of expand on that a little bit here as we talk about it. Not that you're playing preferential treatment to the cute ones or the nice ones or the fun ones. And a lot of times these customers are not necessarily the ones that you're the most excited to see all the time. But what I want to talk about is the customers that have influence. And, in the land center business, it's very, very obvious when you do things like tournaments and special events where guys are gathering groups together to see who those influential customers are, the leaders in their little groups. But some of the things we've done in the past with eBash that really brings this out is that we did some events like we called it one of the events the Battle for the Banner. And the Battle for the Banner was literally you got together as many people on your team as you could over a entire day's worth of competitions in 6 to 8 different games. Your team tried to represent itself in all those competitions and win the banner, the ability to have your team's name up on the wall of the store as, the winner of that season's, quarters, years battle for the banner. And some of those groups would have 6 to 8 players in their team, and we called them clans back in the day. It's not really used anymore, but everybody that's original gamers know that, it used to be a big deal to be in a clan. And so, the clans would have maybe 5 to 10 players. Some of them would get 15 or 20 players. And, usually there was one player that was running the clan and recruiting clan members and organizing practices and just kind of led that group around through the different stages of getting signed up and getting there on time and who was going to play what game and all of those different things. Same thing with team games. A lot more land centers in today's age would probably see that. Like if you have a Halo tournament or a League of Legends tournament or whatever it is, one person on the team is the leader. They found the team. They probably buy the team pass. They register the team. The team itself may change 5 or 6 times up until the actual tournament. But, those things are led usually by one person that kind of is leading that group. Another thing we did at eBash in the past was we did a Facebook day. Every Tuesday was Facebook Tuesday, and if you posted on the Facebook wall and tagged your friends that you were attending with, this was before Facebook changed its policies, but you could get in at a discount. So if you tagged one other friend, the 2 of you could get in for $5 on a Tuesday. If you tagged 2 other friends, all 3 of you could get in for, I think it was $4, and it dropped by $1 the more friends you tagged. And I think that bottomed out at like $2 a person. And again, one player, one customer would, really spearhead that for their group, call all their buddies because they had to check in at the same time. That was one of our stipulations is all of you had to come into the front desk, show us that you've checked in, show us that you tagged each other, and all of you get in at one time. So again, it was all led by, one individual that was influential in that group. Now, what that meant was, the negative was, as soon as those leaders of those groups kind of faded off, whether it be, they ran out of money, they got a girlfriend, they got a wife, they had a baby, whatever reasons that normal customers come and go in our land centers, when those influential ones come and go, you usually lose their entourage with them. So it's could be quite a positive or negative influence on your sales if you gain or lose one of these influential customers. And so we've seen some of that in a couple of our stores the last few months. It's, been very bizarre to watch as some of these influential customers fade off for whatever reason and their entourages leave. It's a very direct reflection on our monthly and weekly sales reports. As we look at that stuff, it's, it's pretty funny how you can kind of directly see these dips in the graphs when, certain person's gone for maybe, guard weekend, or maybe they're, on vacation for 2 weeks, or maybe they just have gotten mad at the store for some reason and left because they lost the last tournament or didn't like one of the staff members working or whatever the reason is. We tried to take this to another level. In 2015, we started our community manager program at eBash. So we tried to identify who these individuals were that were the influential people, the players, the leaders of these teams, and put them in charge of a game in our stores. So we call it the community manager program, and we actually hired them. They fill out W-4s, they get paychecks, they're paid on the first of every month, and then they have their community participates during that month in weeknight events, in monthly events, in quarterly bigger events, specifically for competitive titles like Hearthstone, League of Legends, Halo, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike. We've tried Minecraft. Smash Brothers is a big one. And it's really been hit or miss. And again, some of it is hit or miss based on the individual. Like, let's be clear, there are definitely some leaders are better at leading than others. And so some of it's, based on the game. It's not that easy to get people excited and playing in a Halo event these days as it is a Call of Duty event. But a lot of it is, trying to make the program set up so that these people have a chance to succeed. And we still have not figured that formula out yet. So there's some really, really good ones, and there's some really, really good people working for us in these community manager programs that have still not even come close to what I think they can do with that, because we've not put into to affect the ability for them to do the steps that they need to do around their communities. So if you think about it like a guy organizing his team, like we announced there's a tournament and a guy that's going to be an influential customer of ours that just organizes his team. He sees that the tournament was announced. He already starts communicate with all of his different people. He wants to get on the team regularly. They start practicing regularly. They're preparing ahead of time. He organizes getting all the money together from them. He buys the team pass. He makes sure they all have headsets that are working. That's all of that process that takes place before that event that player organizes. Our community managers don't do a very good job of that part of it right now for us, in that, they're not really ahead of the ball that much. When they want to announce their events, a lot of times they're maybe a month ahead, sometimes only a couple weeks ahead. Sometimes I don't even see them to start promoting their event until the week of the event. Then again, they don't start thinking ahead to that event and planning ahead, like the logistics of it. Okay, we're going to have 200 people drop into our store on a Saturday. Are we prepared for that, for this big event? What have I done ahead of time to make sure we're prepared for that event? Not just promoting and selling it, but logistically running the event. Then during the event, who do I have coming in to help? Like, do I have assistants coming in? How many people do I have coming in to help that event? And then follow up, pictures, posting, making a big deal of who won, who attended, who got the door prizes, and all of those things. So again, just with these community managers we've had, and with looking at your own influential customers, I think it's very, very important that, not that we're picking our favorite child in our family. It's not like that at all. It's not that, one parent is going to say, I've got 5 kids, but one of them's my favorite. It just becomes evident as a parent, and it should become evident as a business owner, that there are certain people you should focus more time and effort on. And those, I think, are ones that you'll find you'll get the best results on long term, because it's almost like a pyramid scheme. It isn't, you're not selling all these people things through it and they're not making a profit on the cuts. But if you use your time and effort to spend a lot of time making a relationship with an influential customer, then that influential customer will spend time and effort making a relationship with people underneath them. And again, those people may then make influence and help make buying decisions on customers below them. So there's this stair step of, there's only so much time in a day you have as an owner, as a manager, as one of your staff members, to make relationships with everybody. Hopefully your store's busy and you have hundreds of people coming in and out of your store every week. But those people that you meet with, pick out the ones are influential. Pick out the leaders. Pick out the ones that seem to have a group following them, and make the best relationships with them so that they can communicate with their groups and they can give you feedback, and you can really have success for your overall land center by just spending a lot of time with those influential people.
I think as well as in regards to those community managers, it's very similar parallel to influential customers, because those community managers come in, they're super excited about getting the community going. They start getting their group together, but there's things that happen with the community managers where either their enthusiasm fades out over time, or life happens, or whatever. And I think that's another direct correlation to money coming in, money going out, that type of thing. Because a lot,
right,
getting up to a certain ramp point with those community managers, and then they exit for whatever reason. Maybe they're still customers, maybe they're not. But then we have that whole, got to start again with a new community manager, get their enthusiasm going, that kind of thing too, which can be frustrating at times for us.
Right. And for land centers, there's other areas too besides events. I want to be clear that, some other examples are like we do lock-ins every Friday and Saturday night. There's certain kids that come to our lock-ins that always invite and bring friends with them. Like they just don't want to go to a lock-in by themselves, so they come in with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 friends. There's birthday party moms. Like if you think about this, like a mom of a birthday party is an influential customer for you. She not only books the birthday party for your store and invites, her son and all of their friends, but she's talking to the moms. Her experience there is one that she's going to share with the other moms. And that potentially brought you another 5 to 20 customers into the store because, they got invited to that birthday party. And then also like church, Boy Scouts, other kind of organizational leaders, if a church youth leader comes in and brings 20 of their youth in for an event at your store, that's one person that you can really work with, that youth leader. Make sure they have a great event, organize it with them, give them a discount, help them get some things going. If their kids have a great event, then they're going to come back again, and hopefully their youth group grows or their Boy Scout organization grows, and they're going to just keep coming back and using your facility for those events in the future and bringing more and more customers to your store where you're just working with one person. It's the same concept of GG Circuit overall. We want sponsors to work with GG Circuit so that GG Circuit can work with hundreds of land centers all over the world. The land centers are the influential people to get to the players. That's what we want to show these sponsors. It's the exact same thing. So again, just as a tip for all of you starting up, and again, existing ones even out there, try to focus on your influential customers, nurture them, help them grow, make good relationships with them, and that will come back to you probably 5 to 10 fold in who they influence and get to come into your centers.